They've got to say something.
Yep. Look for the notification block. I think that's that. Well, of course, including your own audio would help. So
Yeah, no.
you wouldn't want to.
No. Yeah.
And on that note, hello everyone, and welcome to FPRL's Formula 2 Championship Season 2. We are taking on Monza. Of course, Monza is where it all began. The first race of the first season of our Formula 2 Championship was at Monza, and there were certain memories to be had from that event, but we'll leave that for another day and another tale.
Yeah, painful memories.
And of course, we'll just say that they were painful and somewhat hard to forget. But joining me once again this week is, I would say, our newest race winner, but unfortunately the stewards had to take that away. But it still counts as a victory nonetheless. They crossed the line in first. None other than Silverside Boy.
Hello. Oh, don't mention my new promotion.
Well, I suppose I'm kinda gonna have to, or else I get, what's what I'm looking for, punished. Because of course, along with being a commentator is Gary, they are now the new head of the Tier 3 division, which doesn't really bode well for myself.
I'm gonna rule with an iron fist, but be quite respectful to my drivers. Keeping an eye on.
So if you wouldn't mind giving everyone a 10-second penalty after the race to help get me and Force Manure some points, that'd be appreciated.
Well, I think I need to help Force Manure out. Go for it.
I'll PayPal you 20 quid to just take out everyone. Join up the lobby and just torpedo everyone.
Yeah. Well, as a mechanic, we need to start scoring some more points. I know me and Snedden are doing some work, you're doing some work, Maggie's is doing work. Obviously me and Snedden have got second and third in Australia.
Of course, well, every little point helps, and it would help if you submit all the evidence to get a time penalty removed. Codemasters, please sort out your track limits, because they're not nice.
Just seeing Tier 9 but lads, your audio is quiet and the game's loud, so you're not trying to start through the start. But the game
as well, we did the pre. Of course, because it's a bit stuffed for me, I have to reset my Twitch and then reinstall it because of including the audio. So I forgot to turn down the game audio. So basically, what we've just said there was irrelevant and in vain because nobody could hear us. Thank you, lads. So with the pre-stream out of the way, let's get down to business. Just the timer counting down before our qualifying session, and I suppose we could use this time to look over our championship standings, shall we?
Yeah, let me just get them up.
How professional we are, we're giving you a championship brief. Of course, from last week's races even, around Abu Dhabi, Revengezilla leads the championship on 42 points, with Crossbury in second and Shadows in third on 18 points. And then we've got Midfield Maestro, we've got Sargent and TS9, all three drivers separated by 2 points, and then we've got the field trailing further behind. So we can't really judge too much off of the first round here, Gary, but it's fair to say that Revengezilla has threw down the challenge for the rest of the campaign.
Yeah, I don't reckon he's going to be up there for too long once Brookie Min comes back. Obviously, Brookie being back next week, I think Brookie will start gaining his points, as we saw last season, how consistent he was. I think he won like 5 sprints and races in a row. So, yeah, once he comes back, I think a lot of people will be worried. There's one man.
Just waiting.
There's one man who needs to pick up is Tornado at the moment. Not had the best
Tornado. Yeah, Tornado suffering from 2 DNFs at the opening race this season around Abu Dhabi, and partly played by the fact that you might have cursed him in the qualifying session, and partly because just a bit of I would say a bit of being unlucky and a bit of just a bit of everything really. That didn't help get their championship charge off to an ideal start. And I think we have a certain... We've got the sergeant on patrol and the first driver of the field out for their formation lap. Well, not so much a formation lap, excuse me, they are out lap.
Yeah, let's see what Sergeant in the Virtuoso. There's someone banging on the wall, please ignore that.
Tell them you're streaming.
Monkey Boy, left the session, so taking my fist at the next door neighbour.
Fair to say, giving them a taste of their own medicine. But should look as well and actually talk a bit about Monza itself as a track, whatever we know of it, because we're professional, so we need to take this seriously. Monza, I would probably say, is one of the toughest tracks to overtake on, because throughout most of the lap you are just foot to the floor, you are constantly at high speed, as Sergeant's a little bit zigzaggy there on the run down to the Parabolica before they start their first flying lap of this qualifying session. So we'll take you through a quick lap here with the Sergeant down towards the turn 1 and turn 2 chicane. Of course, Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton coming together at turn 2, taking both of them out of the race, and Sergeant getting through there very, very well. Around turn 3, hugging the inside there, taking the shortest line they can up towards turn 4 and turn 5, the second of the chicanes. Sergeant keeping it inbounds of the track, now up to the first of the Lesmos, keeping it within the boundaries. A bit of a wiggle there for Sergeant. Now to the second Lesmo, runs a bit wide, but they get away with it on the exit. Now the run down under the bridge towards the Ascari chicane. Sergeant on a 29.1 for the middle sector, and through the chicane they go. A bit of a lift there for Sergeant, and now the run down towards the Parabolica to complete their first lap in this session. Still no movement from our other drivers in the pit lane. And up to the line goes the Sergeant, and a time of 1 minute 30.094. So a bit of room for improvement there for Sergeant, but a decent banter lap nonetheless.
Yep, I've just sending Walker an invite. He's just arrived. I'm surprised no one's gone out yet, other than Sergeant. That is very... I'm trying to think what the lap times were last season. I wonder how many wings everyone's running, because I know everyone, assuming everyone knows that 0-0 wings are very strong this year. But if you can control it for the corners, then you can really gain a lot on these straights with them. But bloody crikey, Sergeant's cars was wibble wobbling everywhere due to the connection, but we were and all that.
Assuming by the zigzagging there through the connection, that might have cost them around half a second. So we don't know. We don't know if that has cost them time or not, or this is just Codemasters being Codemasters. Most likely the latter. And I just want to take this opportunity to say to one of our drivers in Tier 3, Hobnob, I apologise for our incident around Australia, but desync unfortunately happened, and just so you know, I do feel guilty about that race because it was a good little scrap between me and you, but ultimately it ended with you in the barrier. So
well, there's nothing going on. Should we just start apologising to every driver that we came in contact with on Wednesday, Friday? I'm sorry, Revenge Zero.
I'm sorry we all have to put up with this game.
Yeah. There it is, Sergeant. I've got to re-invite him back. Might be leaving to try and...
They could be restarting their game or their console, so... Well, with just over 20 minutes left in this session, we've got plenty of time to get Sergeant back in, and hopefully the connection has sorted itself out. But also touching on what Gary said earlier about the 0-0 wings around the track like Monza, that will give you a massive advantage on the straights. However, for me, I think the corners matter even more around Monza, let alone your setup, just because it matters so much about carrying as much speed as you can through looking at like the Lesmos, the Ascari chicane, and around the Parabolica in particular, because this here is what sets up your lap as TS9 will take us through. Hugging the white line there to the inside to get the shortest run to start their lap is TS9, and I believe they are rocking your car from last season, Liam Lawson's Hi-Tech.
Yeah, line number 7.
So no pressure, don't scratch it, or don't crash it.
No.
I'm speaking on behalf of Gary.
Nah, my car's now the McLaren. I scratched my number 99 McLaren.
29.5 there for TS9, now up towards the second chicane, a bit over the sausage curb there, but they do keep it clean. Now up towards the Lesmos, carrying as much as they can through the first, and now for the second one, the camber here, it just dips right to the inside, and a bit of a wiggle there for TS9 around the second one, around the exit. As I'm looking in our Twitch chat here, Lewis Yorkie with a cup of beer emoji in the chat, and a certain someone, aka Cocoms, has decided to have a little toast. As TS9 invalidates going around the Ascari chicane, I shall propose a toast to my Cocoms, Silverside Boy. Here's to an eventful evening of Formula 2 racing and a lack of commentary curses. Cheers.
I'm drinking off my buddy Solos.
I shouldn't laugh at that, I do.
To be fair, I was going to do a shoeing with loads of alcohol in the shoes, but yeah, no, you're not getting that now.
I've still yet to live up to my... what is it? I'm looking on to do my shoey after my first win at the start of the campaign, but I've yet to do it because I just haven't bothered. I'll do it at season's end.
Well, at least do it in a clean shoe and not a dirty shoe.
And as Daniel Ricciardo once said, it's risky with back-to-backs, so...
Oh.
TS9 now a 29.3 for the first sector, but very deep there into turn 4, and that's compromised through turn 5, and that has rather ruined their lap. So I think a little fuel stop here, back to the pits is on the cards here for TS9.
That looks like he's running low downforce, low downforce, because he brakes at the same point as he did before, and the car just didn't stop. Literally only one time on the board in 10 minutes. I wonder what everyone's doing.
we have seen the slipstream effect in real life Formula One. So I think most of these drivers here are just waiting for someone to pull the pin, as they would say. And then once one driver goes out, I've actually timed that perfectly. We now got a bit of action in the pit lane, so
Oh, it's all coming out.
I told you, I told you.
Diamond Douchey.
And we look to see.
And Monkey Boy has come out. It's Diamond and Monkey.
Diamond setting off the smoking gun there for Monkey Boy Kurt to follow him out of the pit lane. So now, with just under 10 minutes gone in this qualifying session, we're finally seeing some on-track action.
Keep an eye on Diamond. 2 wins in a row in Tier 3 from him. Early title contender for the Tier 3 championship, so keep an eye on him for tonight. Got some pace on him. I can't remember what he was like in the Abu Dhabi, but yeah, keep an eye on him.
We all know that Diamond is going to be Tier 2 next season if he wins this Tier 3 championship.
I don't know, because Tier 2 is very competitive now. I don't know, obviously you watch the streams. Tier 2 is there's, I think, first race of the season, I think the top 10 was separated by about 4 tenths. Probably one of our closest tiers. There isn't like a stand away winner so far. We've had 3 different winners at each track. We've had who won the first race of the season? I remember who won it.
I believe it. I believe a Ferrari. It was our teammate Snedden that won the first race.
Yeah,
so I can't believe we both didn't know that. We are horrible.
Yeah, sorry, Snedden.
Snedden, we're sorry. But now Diamond just starting their flying lap now, shortly followed by Monkey Boy Kurt. Actually, Kurt is ahead of Diamond. I'm not sure what that's happened.
Yeah,
and now we're getting a few drivers out on track. We've got Locker there on their outlap, TGM and Lexus back in Formula 2, and our newest Formula 2 driver, full time, taking the seat at Prema. So hoping to make a good impression there for their new team tonight is Lexus. But we'll jump back to Diamond, who's just going around the first Lesmo now. Very tidy there from Diamond, now up to the second Lesmo. Hugging the inside there, and a bit of a kiss there on the white line at the exit. DRS now down under the bridge towards the Ascari chicane. Goes our Tier 3 Championship leader. Purple Sector 2 there for Diamond. Going over the curb of death here at Monza, as I well know from last season's Tier 2 Championship. Now the run down to the Parabolica goes the ART of Diamond. Out to the inside, drifts a little bit wide as Monkey Boy Kurt does a 1 minute 30.5, and Diamond up to the line on a 1:30.1. So Sargent, despite what we thought wasn't actually a respectable lap time first off, was momentarily in P1 as Lewis Yorkie a 1 minute 29.2. So they've threw down the challenge for the field behind them.
Might want to direct your attention to TJM and Monkey Boy, teammates. TJM gave Monkey a little bit of a tow after the Lesmo stand. Sergeant saying like the internet for the win. Yeah, TJM is going to be getting the same kind of tow from his teammate that he gave on the previous lap. So this is good teamwork from them both. It seems like that this is what Ferrari should be doing in real life, and not messing around.
Don't say Ferrari should give out a good suggestion or team strategy, okay?
Oh,
we all know what they're capable of. Look what you've done. Look what you've done. You've said something about a Ferrari, and now TGM has Ferrari'd it. So,
think
Not ideal there. Not ideal there for the Carlin. Lewis Shorty still at the top of the standings as Locker posts a 131.1, but they are going to go for another push lap. TS9 up towards the Parabolica now. They go hoping to set a decent lap time as we got yellow flags at the exit of the Parabolica, but that has been cleared up. Up to the line goes TS9, and it's a 130.9, so that puts them in 6th now ahead of Locker.
I'm just watching a lap from iBiddleX. See what Biddle can do in that ART of his. Didn't really
29.2 for the first sector there
didn't
for Biddle.
Didn't really have the best season last year. Biddle did. See, he gets the curb on the exit perfectly. See how much curb he takes on the exit. Yeah, don't want to take too much because you invalidate it. Let's see what his top speed down the straight is. I think that maybe Bowley in front of him who gets out the way perfectly. Let's see what Biddle.
What's further?
See how much.
I love how.
Keep it going.
I love how we.
Just keep going.
There you go. 3 times now we both talked at the same time, so we're doing something wrong. Anyway, Biddle up to the line and it's P2 for the ART. There we go. We finally stopped talking over each other. Professional commentators right here, guys.
Yeah, it's been a long day, shall we say?
Oh, if you're a Man United fan, it has been.
Don't get me started on Man United. Man United back my arse. In the bin where you deserve. Ten Hag out already.
As Crostedy goes into the 129s now. So they displace Biddle and go into 2nd place.
Oh, we might want to be keeping our tornadoes out and about.
Just starting their lap now is Tornado, and a bit of a car park there at the exit of the first chicane.
But he's going to use his advantage because he's now going to be able to get a tow all the way down to the second chicane. Yep, there you go, that car gets out of the way.
Teammate of Crostedy does get out of the way, and the Trident, a purple sector 1 for Tornado.
Bit wide.
Just keeps it in bounds there around the 2nd of the Lesmos. And we've seen Biddle here reaching speeds of above 190 miles an hour, and Tornado roughly the same speed there as Biddle, but he needs to find a bit of time to try and at least threaten Lewis Yorkie, who's got a gap of around 0.3 of a second back to the pack behind them. Up to the line goes Tornado, and are they going to challenge Lewis Yorkie? They've challenged and they've beaten Lewis Yorkie, a 129.0 for Tornado, and that puts them on pole for a feature race so far.
Yeah, Tornado is the favourite for this F2 championship. If he can get his head down and keep himself clean, he should run away with this. I know he's a little bit frustrated with what happened in Abu Dhabi, but he needs to, with Brookie coming back next week, he needs to get as many points as he can today to put the gap to Brookie as far as possible.
Just watching a lap here with Revengezilla, who is currently in P5, and yeah, that's not went well for Revengezilla, as they've spun it, going around the Astari chicane.
Oh, I've just been watching Tornado. Tornado was 3/10 up. And is that it's just gone wide on the end exit of Ascari.
Just shows though he can go quicker if he's able to hook that lap together. Tornado is on for a very, very strong performance here in qualifying. As Shadows has actually went into P3 there, a bit unnoticed there for the Carouse driver, but P3 they go, and of course P3 in the championship, so they're looking to build that gap back to like the likes of Brookieman as well, because a reigning champion Brookieman, we know how fast he can be in this tier.
Did you say the cruise driver?
No, Carouse.
Oh, I thought you said the cruise driver. I was like, he's not your team.
Well, it's a slightly awkward name considering the accent, so...
Yeah, I think it's...
Apologise, mate. Can he help it?
David Allface on a lap. In that Campos and his favourite driver for F2, David Beckman. Loves David Beckman. Good old David Allface does.
Of course, in this case, not looking to bend it like Beckham, he's looking to take the bend like David Beckham. Is David Lawface and up to the line? They go, and it's only P14 for the Campos. And now, I believe we have now set off the smoking gun as we're getting a lot more action on track here. Everyone looking to try and get that slipstream as Lexus. Bit of an unusual warm-up there for the Prema. Biddle currently on a lap as well, and Lewis Yorkie now trying to respond to Tornado. But they are down on their current lap. They are down. So I get the feeling that they're draining the fuel tank a little bit before going again. But Biddle is up on their time, a bit deep there into the entry of Ascari, but they hold it around the exit. So Biddle looking to try and improve here on P5 and try and set themselves up a little bit better here for our feature race, and I should touch on that as well. We've got 2 races this evening in our Formula 2 category after qualifying, as Biddle heads up to the line. Do they improve on their time? No, they don't. They lost time there at the Ascari chicane. So, as I was saying, our 2 races this evening. Our first one will be our sprint race, which the top 10 drivers will be reversed. So as of right now, with 7 minutes left in this qualifying session, I was about to say it would be Diamond who's on reverse grid pole, but no, David Lawface shooting up into P7. Where's he got that pace from?
He was 6/10 up in the middle sector, and he must have nailed the last because he's gained a whole second on his previous lap, put him up P7.
Diamond responding, going up into P9 there, and that puts the Sargent in 10th. So as of right now, Sargent would be on sprint race pole, which would be our following race after qualifying. A bit of a bunny hop there over what I believe someone would call the moon curb, as I found out firsthand as well. So Sargent would be on pole for our sprint race, with Diamond, who's now currently in 9th, would be in 2nd, Lexus in 3rd throughout the top 10, and where Tornado would be 10th. But for our feature race this evening, the grid order that you see will be for our feature race in Tornado. Massive drift there around the Parabolica, so not the best way to set their lap up, but they're going to try and look to further extend that gap back to the likes of Lewis Yorkie and Shadows as Biddle goes up into P4.
Tornado's let off, is pulled out on that lap. He's just going to slow the car down and save fuel and go for one last run.
Just over 5 minutes left, and I think we've had a spin up. Yeah, we have.
Lexus.
The Prema of Lexus has had a bit of a spin there at the second Lesmo, and that has rather ruined their lap, and Revengezilla goes up into 4th. Looking at our times as well, only one driver who's yet to set a lap time is actually just leaving the pits. So Bolly, the only driver who I think is going to get one lap in this qualifying session, and we've got a bit of a race in the pit lane here between TGM, and I think that might have been it was Crossgody who TGM is having a bit of a fight with in the pit lane.
Oh, what, coming out of the pits?
Yeah, they were both wheel to wheel going down the pit lane, but Crossray won that particular race.
As he does. Crossgray doesn't take rubbish from anybody.
Of course, we're talking about Bahrain last season, where he doesn't take any rubbish from anyone. Ask David Lawface. Sent both of them into a wall.
No, I think he just sent David into a wall. He just spun himself out and then reversed across the line.
As you do.
If you haven't seen that clip, I suggest finding it. I'm hoping it's on our TikTok. That clip. Legendary clip.
Getting the TikTok plug in, there you go.
You're welcome, Joe. There's a TikTok thing. Can I have my money now?
Is that in your contract? You've got to mention the TikTok page and he PayPal's you like a tenner or something, or...
Now, Zero works in the NHS, he can give me some money. Also, someone spun behind.
Oh! Is that... It is, it's Lewis Yorkie who's had a bit of a spin there. And that's had a bit of a,
Someone else has
backup.
Oh
dear.
No!
Oh no!
David's retired in the pits.
Oh, I think David has retired in the pit lane, so we both got very emotional over nothing, and it was Diamond on a cooldown lap who spun it out of the Ascari chicane, so I think that's just one way to try and burn fuel as...
Diamond's out of fuel.
Well, as I say, one way to burn fuel, and I think they've put their chances of improving in P10 up in smoke, but Tornado trying to find as much of an advantage as they can, using Diamond for a bit of a slipstream, and it paid off. A 129.018 marginal gain there for Tornado, but it's built that buffer up to Lewis Yorkie, who is backed off of his current lap. 2 minutes left though in this quali session. I think they'll have one more chance.
I'm just watching poor Diamond try and weave himself back to the pits. I think his section's done, he's not going to get round in time. That split time between me and TJ, 1,000th of a second between our head steward and our Div 1, I think it's Division 1. Yeah, Div 1, head Div 1, Tier 1 Div head, sorry, I got that all mixed up. 1,000th a second.
Just looking in the Twitch chat there, yeah, we're seeing there TGM and the time split between them and TS9, 1,000th of a second, as our Tolcoms got a bit tripped up there and got their tongue in a knot. But Lewis Yorkie, final run now for the Prema, trying to take pole away from Tornado. Shadows has backed off of that current lap, and I don't think they have enough fuel to go again. No, I don't think they have.
Yeah, same with Tornado, they're both out of fuel. Douche is retired in the pits.
Every driver currently on a flying lap except for Locker, but I think he's having a bit of a race here to try and get to the checkered flag before the session ends.
He's got enough time, he'll be fine.
Yeah. 15 seconds left in this session, and I think Locker will get to the line to start their final lap.
He's going to have the best track conditions. Bolly as well, coming through. set his one and only lap of a 1:30.8. He is at the back, unfortunately.
The gamble for Bolly to go for one flying lap didn't quite work out. But we are looking now. So Lockhart will be the final driver over the line. And, oh, we've had a bit of a collision here out of Ascari. Not sure what's happened there, but I think Sargent has had a bit of a collision here with Biddle.
Well, we'll see if there's any clips going to the steward, because that may be something. Where is Locker? So I'm keeping an eye on Locker.
Locker just exiting the second Lesmo.
I figure out where he's up on his time. He's a 10th down. He's pushed the track limits there, but that's okay because that's how you get the lap time.
And as one person would say, the Ali Ferrari lines. So Locker around the Parabolica now, looking to possibly challenge Diamond for sprint race pole. Hugging the inside there is Locker and up to the line.
No.
And they don't improve on 12th. So, it's very similar to last week. It will be Tornado who takes pole position for our feature race. And actually, looking back there on the broadcast, Frostery jumped up into second somewhere. Wow, so Frostery, rather unnoticed, takes P2 away from Lewis Yorkie. And just going through the order here, Shadows in 4th, Revengezilla 5th, Biddle in 6th, having a bit of a collision with Sargent towards the end. David Lawface up in 7th. Very, very strong qualifying there for David. Sargent, as aforementioned, had a bit of a collision with Biddle in 8th, Lexus in 9th, and Diamond in 10th. But they will start the sprint race on pole. TGM 11th, Locker in 12th, and then we've got Willy Bum, Monkey Boy Kurt, TS9 and Bolly rounding out the field. I'd like to just bring up a little flashpoint from last week. Do not start the lobby before the host. Thank you. Gives our drivers a chance to stretch their legs, get a quick drink or whatever before our first of 2 races this evening. And I don't know if anyone in our Twitch chat wants to donate some channel points for the comms team to have a quick drink, be my guest, because I know I won't. I'm not that generous.
Yeah, let's see what I would say what tyres they're going to go on, but get this race director thing. Okay, so Yorkie's gone on soft.
Put our race director up real quick. There we go. And yeah, Lewis Yorkie on the soft compound tyre. Everyone else on medium. And okay, I think there's some slight favouritism here in our Twitch chat because Lewis Yorkie has kindly donated 500 channel points for me to have a drink.
Give me a drink.
And only me. And only me to have a drink.
Oh, fuck it, I'm going to go get a drink now.
Right, Yorkie, if you want to donate another 500, be my guest, because we need our cold comms to have a drink. And we will just wait now for the lobby to sort itself out. And I'll have... And there you go, Yorkie. Cheers, lad. So that's now a cold comms drink for Gary when he comes back, and a drink for me, courtesy of Lewis Yorkie. So cheers, lad, and good luck in the race. Locker put in a Twitch chat saying language Gary, so I'll relay the message when he comes back. And he better hurry up because the countdown has started for the lobby, so thank you everyone for not repeating last week and readying up when I said do not ready up. So we're gonna... Oh, there we go. So Locker has put in the Twitch chat and asked to relay a message to you saying language.
We're not family friendly. Whose car is having a fun time?
There.
Sergeant's car is like, yay, I'm really happy to be here.
Well, of course, P3 on the grid is Sergeant, so they're going to be very happy. Oh, never mind. I think Codemasters are trialling a new porpoising effect on the Sergeant's car, so we'll see how realistic that is throughout the race. And so far, it's very realistic.
That's what you call active suspension.
Haha, clever. So, starting now for our formation lap, and I'd like to ask my Totoms to run us through the grid for the evening. And looking at our tyres, before we do that, Yorkie has changed their mind and went back on to mediums.
On the tyres. Right, I don't need to go for tyres, everyone's on mediums. Right, in 16th we have Bolly X6, only set one lap time. Don't know what that was about. Never mind, I'm going to invite him, so you might carry on cruiser while I invite him.
Very well, TS9 in 15th for the high-tech team. Then we've got Monkey Boy Kurt in the Carlin in 14th. Then we've got the Virtuosi pair of Willybum and Locker 13th and 12th, and Tidjum in the second of the Carlins in 11th. In 10th, we have our pole sitter for the feature race, Tornado, and I think I know who's had a bit of... Actually, no, who has had? Oh, David's had a bit of a spin there out of Ascari, and they've been disqualified from the formation lap.
Yeah, mate, he's had a spin.
Not ideal there. Up the Codemasters and up the penalty system. Anyway, Tornado in 10th, then we've got his teammate Crostery, the two Tridents, 10th and 9th, then we've got Lewis Shorty in 8th. Actually, I should tell a lie, Tornado is driving for Caruso, not Trident. Forgive me, their cars are very similar. Like I said, professional streamer. Shadows in 7th, Revengezilla in 6th, Biddle in P5, then we have David Lawface in 4th, Sergeant in P3, Lexus in P2, and on pole is the Tier 3 fraud, Diamond Douche. And I think Lexus, we haven't started the race yet.
Away we go. Oh, no.
Yeah, this... Oh, wait a minute, we've got a green... Huh? What's going on? Lexus is jump start. Oh, there we go.
Good camera.
Look at David.
What camera is that?
We got 5 lights here. We got 5 lights here at Monza. It's lights out, and away we go. And it looking like there, Lexus and Sargent getting a bit of squabble off the start, but Sargent's still porpoising down towards turn 1. They've got to put the braking point here very carefully as they don't rear-end the cars in front. And as I say that, someone has just done that, and that's resulted in a bit of a car park, but Diamond Douche gets away from that unscathed. Sargent in second, we've got Lexus, Shadows and Yorkie already up into 5th. Then we've got said car park. There's a background, we've got a bit of a spin. I think that might have been Revengezilla having a bit of a spin there out of turn 2. Then we've got Tornado, Monkey Boy Kurt in 7th. Shadows fighting away with Lexus 4th, 3rd, and Locker gets a penalty for some reason ignoring yellow flags. I'm not sure what that's for.
I think it's for the car park at turn 1.
Certainly not ideal for Locker, but Crostery in 9th, Biddle in 10th, and then we've got the two Premas fighting away for 4th place, but it's a bit laggy here, so I don't really know what the order actually is. But David Lawface, a nightmare start for David. They're down in 14th.
Let's see if people front have no damage. He's got away with no damage, so... Oh, someone's gone off. Willybum is off in the grass over there, out of Starry. Zero will have.
Thankfully not in the barriers.
Zero's going to have to box because he's got no front left end plate at all.
Leading now around the parabolic at the start of lap 2. Diamond under massive pressure there from Sargent, using the slipstream as Sargent to the outside they go against Diamond, and Diamond I think backed off there a bit too early in the race to be making and having fights like that, so Sargent takes the lead of the race for now, but we've got Diamond, Shadows and Lewis Yorkie all in this little train up front. Then we've got Lexus a 1.5 seconds back in 5th, Tornado in 6th, then we've got Crossray quite a bit back there from Tornado, having to defend now against Monkey Boy Kurt, and Biddle to the inside of Kurt now. Trying to get a good camera angle here for this move. Biddle to the inside at the second chicane, and they get their nose in front of Monkey Boy Kurt, and they take 8th away from the Carlin.
Yeah, I'm just looking up and down the field. There's a lot of squabbling everywhere with everyone. David's now back up to P12, so he's only got to get in 4 more positions to get up into the points positions, but got TS9, Locker, Monkey and Biddle all to get through. Let's see what the biggest winners are.
Seen there one Carlin losing a place, and Monkey Boy Kurt, he's just lost another place to Locker, but his teammate TGM getting past Bolly, that's in the fight for 13th, but Sargent trying to weave a bit down this main straight to break the slipstream. DRS is enabled on lap 3 here at Monza, but Sargent defending for now against Diamond, but they're almost pushing them down towards the first chicane. And then we've got Shadows in 3rd, Lewis Yorkie in 4th. Tornado is now caught up and past Lexus, so mighty lap there for Tornado to actually get within range of Lexus to make the overtake. Diamond still content to sit behind Sargent right now, but with the DRS effect I get the feeling that there's going to be quite a few changing positions, and as I say that, changing position there is Shadows to the inside of Diamond at the first of the Lesmos, and Shadows diving to the inside there of the ART, and they're up into P2.
Yeah, that's the place that you never see many people go for an overtake through Lesmo 1, sorry, I can't speak tonight.
Thankfully you didn't say what I thought you said.
Oh, what, the YouTuber Championship? Calling them those 2 net corners. If you see that and know that reference, good on you.
Yes, but Tornado now on a bit of a charge. They have got past Lexus and dropped them nearly 2 seconds on this lap, but their teammate, the Lexus' teammate Lewis Yorkie, challenging Diamond, and I think they are going to potentially make the move here as Shadows is on Sargent. DRS for Shadows. Sargent will not have any DRS, and he doesn't have much of a chance to fight back, and Shadows takes the lead of the sprint race for now, but Lewis Yorkie to the inside of Diamond. Now the run out of turn 2 towards the Retroposta, and Diamond just keeps their nose ahead of the Prema, but Tornado is gaining all the time on the strip in front, but Sargent now trying to fight back against Shadows to the inside there of the second chicane. Shadows just about fends off that attack, but on the exit Sargent gets the traction out of turn 5 to the inside. They go. They're still wheel to wheel here, and a bang of the wheels there, trying to maintain position for Shadows, and they just about keep their nose ahead of Sargent. This is getting quite interesting here at the front.
Bringing Yorkie back into play.
And somewhere Tornado is somehow found all the time to get in DRS range of Diamond. Sargent absolutely sending it there at the Ascari, and they've got past Shadows. But I wonder if Shadows is playing mind games here.
Little flag at the back, I didn't see what that was.
Going past the detection line there. Those are lead route. But I think Shadow might have let Sargent through before the detection line to get this DRS down the main straight, and they breeze past Sargent, and they try and retake the lead of the race, but Sargent trying to hold it around the outside, and the leaders have touched. We've got a bang to the wheels. Sargent to the inside of Shadows, and look who shot through. Tornado already up into P2.
Yeah, Paul LSW Yorkie was minding his own business, got caught in that and had to go into the gravel. He's now lost 2 positions because of that. Come on, lads.
Tornado to the inside of Sargent around the second chicane, but Sargent just about defends against him, and now Diamond trying to fight off Shadows, and Yorkie to the outside of Shadows around the first of the Lesnos, and now Lexus is right up behind this lead group as well.
Yeah, all this squabbling. Oh, Lexus gets a little bit wide of the curve and nearly loses it. All this squabbling is allowing more and more people to join this blunt lot. I do not want to know. Tornado's got 3-second time penalty.
3 seconds for Tornado. They did cut the entry of the Ascari, trying to get past Sargent. We got a yellow flag in sector 3, and Lexus is out. Lexus is in the wall.
Safety car.
And a safety car here at Monza.
Oh,
well,
there he is on the corner. Well, do you think we're going to see anyone dive into the box? It'll be silly because you.
There's your answer. There's your answer. Shadow into the pit lane, and I think that could be for a front wing change.
This is going to be really stressful. He's going to have a really stressful time now in the feature, because now he's going to put on, if he puts another set of mediums, now he's smart, but he's going to put on a set of softs, because you won't use them in the feature.
Looking as well, a few more drivers in the pit lane there. We got Lockhart in the pits. I think that might be to get rid of their 5 seconds at the start, and it is. Tidgham in for a front wing change, and I think Bolly's in for a front wing change as well.
Yeah. Tornado has put, that's my race done. It might not be over and done with yet, Tornado. You might be able to pull the gap.
Was further proving how crucial a 3-second penalty is for a race, as I fine well know from Australia. But hold on, where's the safety car?
It's literally right in front of Rock and Bull. It's just waiting. But if he goes on board, there it is.
Oh, there it is. I saw the safety car exit the pit lane when Language. I saw it exit the pit lane when who was it that came in the pits there? It was Shadows that went into the pits. But I thought the safety car would have picked them up, but clearly it hasn't.
Yeah, no, I just saw Bailey nearly crash. It's gone back to worse for Shadows.
Oh no. A drive-through penalty for Shadows, and they've lost another bit of their end plate.
Shadows, it's got...
I promise, Shadows, I have not cursed you. Gary hasn't cursed you. This one is not on us.
Yeah, Bully nearly crashed into the safety car. Benjer's in the pits, which I presume he's probably going to change his front wing as well. He's been running front wing damage all race. Yep, there's a front wing change.
Yep, getting rid of those tyres and getting a new front wing there is our championship leader.
He's putting set of mediums on. Oh no, those are a set of mediums for the feature.
Potential strategy change then for Revengezilla. But of course, anything can happen in the feature race, much as it can happen in the sprint. And TGM back in the pits. I wonder if that could be to retire from this race, or it's for another front wing change. No, it's not. It's another set of medium tyres.
Oh, I know what he's done. So he's come in, changed his front wing, put on his feature race mediums on there, gone slowly on those tyres not to burn them out, and then put his original set back on.
Ah,
very smart.
Fair enough. And it doesn't seem like Revengezilla is taking that approach, or the same approach as TGM, but they've left themselves quite a bit of work to do to catch back up to the safety car queue, which is just actually leaving the Parabolica now to start lap 8 of this sprint race at Monza.
Shadow has just put in the chat, I was on AI and it's giving me a drive-through.
That sounds like a you problem. And Shadows.
Pathetic.
Yeah. I mean, you should know if a game is made, it was under the EA name, it's gonna have bugs and glitches. So.
Tell me about it.
True. Shadows getting the front wing change there. Revengezilla, actually, I think they've done the same approach here as TGM. So I shall take my words and I shall retract them, because Revengezilla, yeah, they've got another set of mediums and they are putting on.
Yeah, their old set. Which is not
They're
gonna.
putting on their old
They're
set.
not gonna really be the favourite people on the track, because this is just holding up the safety cars to keep going on so they can catch up. So we might not even get any DRS.
Well, one person who wouldn't be complaining about that is Sargent. For Swift Tornado's penalty, they would currently win this race. Looking as well, Diamond and Lewis Yorkie would fill up the podium. Biddle in 5th. So this safety car has allowed Biddle to actually catch up to the lead group. Then we've got Croskery, Kurt and TS9 in the final points place. And David Lawface. Bit of a recovery here for David, up in 9th. And Willy Bum rounding out the top 10. So no message yet from Race Control that the safety car will be in the pit lane, so I get the feeling here we're only going to have 2 laps of racing to the end. So that Shadows.
Not going well for you, lad.
The red mist has descended upon Shadows, and a race that did look really promising for them has, no other word for it, been destroyed. But we're starting lap 9 now, so at the end of this lap the safety car will be in the pit lane, so we're looking to the likes of TGM, Revengezilla and Shadows, who will catch up to the safety car queue. It's under safety car, lads, so you've got to be careful here.
There with a nice. TJ's just set a faster lap. He's done all right on the safety car.
Oh
That's
dear.
just saying how bad of a race he's had. He's able to go quicker under the safety car.
The magic of FPRL this.
Oh, hang on a
And
minute.
hold on, Diamond and Sargent have somehow
What position?
traded places under the safety car.
Has Sergeant missed his break and gone off the track? Because if he's gone off the track, Diamond is in, by the rules of F1 and F2 in the rulebook, you are allowed to overtake if the car in front has gone off the track as the safety car comes in.
Not sure what happened there between our P2 and P3 man, but I wonder, will Diamond give the place back at the restart? But if they do, this is going to play right into the hands of Tornado, who has to absolutely fly to build the gap back to the pack behind him, and on a track like Monza, that's not going to be easy.
You've also got to keep an eye on Walker and Bowie on those set of softs and shadows.
And there we go, Revengezilla and TGM have just caught no, this isn't really a safety car queue, this is more like a, I don't even know how to describe it. But Tornado has went for it, and we go around the Parabolica to start lap 10 of 11 here at Monza, and Tornado does have a jump on Diamond. Then we've got Sargent under pressure from Lewis Yorkie, then we have Biddle in 5th, Croskery in 6th, Donkey Boy Kurt a bit detached there from the lead group. Then we've got TS9 and David Lawface to the inside of TS9. Late in the brakes is David, and they're up into the points, but we're looking as well further up at the front. Lewis Yorkie has dropped past Sargent and Diamond.
Holy Jesus, oh god, Diamond just nearly clattered into the back of Tornado and had to cut the first chicane.
Sargent now to the inside of Diamond, and a bit of a bunny hop there over the second of the chicanes there. So Sargent, I think it was a bit rude there to force Diamond over the curb, and that's allowed Biddle to get past their teammate, and a bit of a car park further back. Monkey Boy Kurt finding a way with Crossley, then we've got TS9 back up into the points, David Longface in 9th and Locker in 10th.
Oh dear. Bit of collision between Biddle, Diamond and Crossley, because Crossley was in the wall somewhat. I will need to say that Shadow will need to pit this lap for his drive-through, or he will be disqualified.
If I were Shadow, I would probably just take the hit there.
He's going for
but
fucking in the middle. 2 cars. It's all language. Fucking done. Just gone up the inside between Willy Bum and Boyd to make a great overtake there.
Although unfortunately it will count for nothing, as they will have to serve their drive-through. But in the final lap now here at Monza, we've got Tornado, who leads the way but carrying a 3-second penalty to Lewis Yorkie in second. Then we've got Sargent in third, Biddle in fourth, heckling Sargent, who's still porpoising in that, what was it you said earlier, active suspension.
Yeah.
So I think the trial run after this still have a few words with their team to get that off of their car as soon as possible. Then we've got Crossery, and then we have Diamond and TS9 almost pushing them around the centre chicanes a bit deep into the corner there. Oh, wait for contact! Oh no! I think Davis had a bit of a collision there with Locker, and we're now we're 4 wide into the Lesmos. That's never going to end well, is it? Actually, it's went better than I expected.
Diamond Douchey!
And Diamond with a 3-second penalty, so that could see them out of the points. But Tornado doing everything they can to try and build this gap up to Lewis Yorkie, which will not be enough. However, they will have enough of a gap to stay on the podium. And potentially, if they get this final corner right, they could still end up in P2. But Tornado round the Parabolica for the final time in this sprint race. They will take the checkered flag first, but it will be Lewis Yorkie who takes their maiden victory in this campaign, and they take the win here at Monza. And Tornado has just about held on to P2 by less than a tenth of a second, but Sargent, a thoroughly impressive and defensive drive from Sargent, sees them on the podium with Biddle up in fourth. Then we have Monkey Boy Kurt, a really good race there for Kurt in fifth, Crossley in sixth, TS9 in seventh, and due to Diamond's penalty, it's Revengezilla who takes the final point in the sprint race.
Did Monkey Boy do that when he was my teammate last season? Speaking about
There you go, and you got the game's vote for driver of the day. But of course the vote lies with you, our co-toms. Gary, who would be your sprint race standout?
Yeah, well, I need to look through the board and see where everyone's done. Tornado's in for a good shout of it from P10 to P2. Could have easily won that if he hadn't got that penalty. I am going to give it. It's got to be. I'm going to give it to Monkey. From P14, near the back of the field, kept himself clean. Is up to P5. I think Monkey Boy Kurt's going to get driver of the day. Well, driver of the race for the sprint race.
And I think they will get my vote as well. Looking as well, TS9 from P15 up to P7. So good showing there for both drivers there. But the finishing order for a sprint race, we've got Lewis Yorkie, who takes their first victory of this campaign. Then we've got Tornado in second, and Sargent rounding out the podium. Biddle in fourth, helped out by that safety car to get close to the lead group, but just ran out of time to really make an impact. Then we've got Kurt, as we said, in fifth, our sprint race standout. Then we've got Crossery, TS9 and Revengezilla. Another point for our championship leader, but a priceless point considering how that race went. Then we've got Diamond and Willy Bum rounding out the top 10.
Oh, hang on a minute. I forgot to mention this. Tornado will not be finishing in second. Tornado has a 5-second time penalty to be added to his sprint race time.
Well, there we go. So,
Yeah, that will.
Tornado
I don't know what the results will be.
He will take P2 on the track, but the stewards room the stewards will have to slap on that 5-second penalty, and I think that might put him downwards to around P5. But still, it's a few points more than what they managed in Abu Dhabi, so I don't think they'll be complaining too much now they've got their championship challenge up and running.
I also forgot to get the sprint race results, but I can get that at the end of the session because it will show both race results. Oh, Tornado's put P7. Tornado got P7 with that 5 seconds.
Still, with the 2 pole positions to his name already and another 2 points, it's still something of a result. And of course, with the feature race, there's still plenty more points on offer. I'm just going to be professional here and go on Twitter real quick and retweet our We Are Live tweet from over an hour ago. See if we can get a few more people in for our feature race. Up the branding.
Yeah, it might be a bit quiet due to it being a Sunday and everyone's relaxing. Nice sunny day. I know Amos Drive and Soprano would be here watching, but they've decided to go to the pub together. God.
Well, I don't drink, so I don't really have much to judge.
So I see. I was very unfortunate for David Arface. He was up in the points. Unfortunate contact with Locker paid the end to his race. Also, I will need to give a shout out for David Arface for that lap in qualifying. Oh. Let's see what tires they're running.
And actually, we shall do that now. And we do have a bit of differing strategy here. We've got Lewis Yorkie and Locker on medium tyres, everyone else opting to start on the softs. So, with this formation lap underway, I'd like to ask Gary to run us through the grid for our feature race.
Right, starting in P16 will be Bullry. In P15 we have TS9. In P14 we have Monkey Boy Kurt, hopefully going to try and get the same kind of result that he just had. In P13, the first of the Virtuosi cars is Virtuosi car. It's not Dams, Dams is Louis Bum and his teammate of FPI Walker in P12. In P10 is the second carring of TGM. In P10 it's the first of the ARTs of Diamond Dushi. In P9 it's Alexis. P8 still with his active suspension going absolute haywire, Sergeant Manaloff. In P7 it's David Altface. Hopefully this time he won't get caught up in an incident. In P7, in P6 we have Ibidolex. In P5 we have Revenge Sira, our championship leader. In P4 we have Shadows, who's hoping for a better race this time. No drive-through, no penalties this time. In P3 we have our winner of the sprint race, LSW Yorkie, finally putting the total charge down now. P2 we have Crossgree. And in P1 once again is Tornado 0333 on for our pole for the feature race.
Thank you for that, Gary. And Shadows and Sergeant have messed up their formation lap, so that's not ideal for them. And just looking further back, hopefully nobody else follows them, because I'm sure their tyres will not be happy with with being sub-zero, safe to say. So now we've got the lights ahead of our drivers. Our feature race is underway. A relatively safe start there for Tornado. They have built the gap back to Crossedy in second, but Lewis Yorkie on the mediums trying to challenge Crossedy in towards turn 1 they go, but around the outside goes Lewis Yorkie to the inside for turn 2, but those medium tyres not helping their case, and that's allowed Shadows to get past the Prema, and Shadows up into P3, but Tornado holds position at the start, and we're seeing a few more changes further back as Revengezilla fighting away with Biddle, David Lawface maintaining it in P7, then we've got Sargent, Tidgem and Monkey Boy Cart, both Carlins already off to a really strong start, rounding out the top 10.
Yeah, they've both got up. Tidgem's got up 2 places, and Monkey's got up 4. Our biggest loser is Lex, he's gone down 6, so maybe he got squeezed on the inside and everyone's just got a better run out of him, but he's down to 15th.
Run down to Ascari now, and Crossedy still keeping within range of Tornado, but we've seen in the sprint race how quick Tornado can be. So the main objective here for the Trident is to keep within the 1 second DRS window of the Karus in front.
Bit of battle behind between Zilla and Yorkie. Zilla's going to go around the outside of Parabolica. Still side by side.
Neither driver wanting to give in. They're almost running identical wheel to wheel down the main straight towards turn 1 and turn 2, hoping not to repeat Verstappen and Hamilton, but Zilla later on the brakes gets the inside for turn 2, and that is a really gutsy move there for Revengezilla. They've muscled their way by the Prema and up into 4th.
Yeah, I'm just on board with Biddle watching this fight with a bucket of popcorn, as I like to say, watching this great fight in front of him, figuring out when he's going to be able to get past Yorkie, because if Yorkie's going to get all the toe in the world, Yorkie gets a great drive off the corner, Zilla squeezes him. Yorkie's up the inside, up Westmo 1. They go side by side through some Westmian 2, and Biddle's going to try and get... Oh, Biddle just...
Oh no!
Pit manoeuvred Yorkie.
Oh dear! And their teammate Lexus just runs right into the side of them, so that is a new front wing needed for both drivers. And Yorkie is not happy. And oh, we've got a collision further at the front. Diamond and Monkey Boy Carter came together at the Ascari.
Oh no!
Not sure what happened there, but
Biddle and Zilla.
okay, well, Biddle getting past Revengezilla, then up into 4th, but at the front, Tornado is only 6.5 tenths clear of Crossedy, so the Trident has done its job. And Shadow trying to clear rear gunner to their teammate. They were that is very late on the brakes there for Shadows. They just about get it stopped, but Revengezilla has got back ahead of Biddle up into 4th. Then we've got Sargent in 6th, Tidgem in 7th, David Lawface in 8th, then we've got Bolly from P16 already up into P9, and Locker on those medium tyres getting towed along here by Bolly in 10th.
Yeah, Biddle's going to have to be a bit worried about what's going to happen to him after the race. He's got to get his head down, because that's what that looks like. That might be a penalty for the ART driver.
I'm sure the stewards will definitely be investigating that incident, but we're looking as well. Tornado has actually built the gap up to Crossedy. It's at 1.2 seconds, so they will not get the aid of the DRS down towards the Ascari chicane, but Shadows is in range of Crossedy. A bit of a tongue twister there, but Shadows trying to get ahead of Crossedy and maybe try and back up the Trident to help defend their teammate. Speaking of defence, Revengezilla trying to defend against Biddle, cuts in front there of the ART, but I think the DRS here will play a bit of an aid here for Biddle, and now the run down towards the first chicane. Revengezilla weaving trying to break the slipstream, but that will not matter. The DRS pull is just too strong, but Biddle trying to get the move done. Zilla late on the brakes, trying to get it done to LWS Yorkie, and over the sausage curb goes Revenge Zilla. Thankfully, both drivers emerge unscathed, and Biddle does finally get past Revenge Zilla and make it stick.
That just gave me Hamilton Verstappen vibes.
It was almost a carbon copy, we'll put it that way, but Shadow's only half a second behind Crosscury, who's getting dropped by Tornado out of the DRS range. Looking as well further back, oh, Yorkie's had a spin out of the Astari.
Oh, it's just gone so badly for Yorkie.
Certainly not went well for Lewis Yorkie in this feature race, but looking further back here, looking at Sargent, Tidgham and David Lawface in their own little we'll say queue or tussle. Tidgham gaining to the back of the Virtuosi, just not quite close enough to get past Sargent.
Come on, Tidgham, you can get him.
David Lawface just further back. They're hanging in there in P8, and we've got Locker, who has got past TS9, but on those medium compound tyres, Locker I think could be doing with a bit of a DRS pull, and not to be the one pulling the drivers behind with the DRS.
Whatever round it is between Biddle and Zilla, there's a lot of weaving going on. Oh, Zilla's just slammed the door in front of Biddle.
All this fighting not helping these two, because the gap between them and Shadows, who's getting towed along quite nicely by Crosscury, Crosscury just hasn't been able to close the gap down to Tornado. It's still at 1.5 seconds, but Revenge Zilla and Biddle 5 seconds behind the lead group. And now we look as well, TGM has got past Sargent down in towards turn 1, and now they're getting closer to this fighting group as well.
We can see a 5-way battle scene between Zilla, Biddle, TJ, Sargent and David. Rollface is just out of the DRS zone.
Sticking on board there with TGM in case Sargent tried to make a move into the Astari, but that just wasn't going to happen. And also throughout all that, Bolly has made their one and only pit stop in this race on lap 5, so that's a bit early there for Bolly, but now up at the front, this is where the main fight is between Crosscury and Shadows. Shadows is a lot closer on this occasion to the Trident, hoping to make it a Carouse 1-2 for the moment at least. Down the main straight they go, over 200 miles an hour goes Shadows. To the inside they go, but Crosscury has the inside for turn 2. Shadows try and get the traction down out of the exit, and they do get the traction down, and Shadows is now up into second place.
That was great work between the two. They both gave each other space.
Crosscury not giving up though on P2, but I think they have to concede on this occasion, but they will have plenty more chances in this race.
Yep, Tidgham, Sargent and David have now arrived to this Biddle and Zilla scrap. Look on the map. Yep, here comes Zilla. Biddle squeezing him.
Very aggressive defending there for Biddle, and a 3-second penalty for Revenge Zilla.
That's very naughty from Biddle. Squeeze Zilla onto the grass, and Zilla got a 3-second for that.
I would mention a recent race in Australia, but I'd rather not because I didn't send any evidence. But Revenge Zilla and Biddle, this is getting very serious now between these two in the fight for P4. And now, yeah, and as you mentioned, TGM, Sargent and David Lawface have caught up to this group, and looking as well, Lexus, despite fighting away with Locker and TS9, they're only 3 and a bit seconds down on this group as well.
Yeah, don't know why Biddle and Zilla are fighting so much over this.
And Crosscury, sorry to cut in there, Gary, but Crosscury has actually pulled the trigger and they are in the pits. So I wonder, are we going to see more action up at the front? And we are definitely going to see more action up at the front here between Biddle and Revenge Zilla. Biddle almost forcing Revenge Zilla onto the curb at turn 1, and now Tidgham trying to get a drive out of turn 2 to get past the pair of them. But Revenge Zilla and Biddle, you cannot separate them in this race.
I can see.
Around-
I can see a massive,
Around the Retroposta.
massive train going to start appearing soon behind these lot.
Biddle diving to the inside there, forcing Ravenzilla off the track, and Tidgeon's fell victim. Tidgeon's been spun round at the exit of turn
I
4.
think Sargent may have slightly touched the back of Tidgham and causing him to spin, and Sargent now goes up the inside of Zilla somehow.
Can't get enough of this in this race. But Sargent up into P4, and I think, looking there at TGM, they were a bit of an innocent bystander in this.
If I was Tidgham right now, I probably would box and maybe try and see if I can get an undercut as Biddle goes a bit wide and Star. He's been
Biddle off the track, and he's been tapped! Biddle has been tapped by, I think that might have been Ravenzilla who has tapped him, and finally, after such close racing, Biddle and Ravenzilla have made contact. Looking as well, Tornado has came into the pit lane, so that means Shadows will have to stay out. Sargent is in 3rd now, Ravenzilla in 4th, David Lawface up into P5, and looking now. Yeah, I think all of our drivers now are starting pull trigger, and I think David's made contact with Ravenzilla.
Yeah, this pit lane line is so awful. Like, if the person in front of you brakes harder, you're going to hit the back of him. I think David, hopefully his team, they are not changing his front wing. He's chosen. Maybe the team's not realised he's got damage, so he's going to be driving around with damage.
But he has lost out to Lexus in the pit stops, and Sargent has maintained position over Ravenzilla. So Lexus, in all of that, has dropped past David Lawface. Willy Bum in the pits as well. Bolly, who made that earlier pit stop, might actually jump Willy Bum, and they have.
Yorkie's gone
So
for another
Bolly,
spin.
in making that earlier pit stop, is now right behind David Lawface, who was up in P5. And Lewis Yorkie is just not happening for him in this feature race. But up at the front, Shadows with a 15.5 second gap back to Locker, and TS9 doing very well to keep up with Locker on those soft compound tyres in 3rd. Then we've got TGM, and we've had I think we've a bit of a car park up at the first Lesmo. Ravenzilla has been round for a spin.
Didn't see it.
That has completely ruined their race, and now they are fell back towards Biddle. But Shadows in the pits now, so Locker, I'm sure, will stay out, as will TS9. So they are not going into the pit lane yet, despite starting on the soft compound tyres. But they are mounting a challenge here on Locker towards turn 1. Locker to the outside of the high-tech, but TS9 around the outside at turn 2 does get past Locker, and they take the net lead of this race. Monkey Boy Kurt in 3rd. Tornado does hold position over the teammate, but Crosssteady is now right behind Shadows, and on those warmer tyres, Crosssteady will be desperate to get past Shadows as soon as he can.
Yeah, Yorkie spun again. David Lawface is having a good old ding-dong battle with Bolly as David goes into defence inside, and Bolly's just absolutely minced David on the outside. Maybe down to
Beautiful
the front,
move.
might be down to the front wing damage because he's starting to look like he's struggling now.
A beautiful move nonetheless there from Bolly. Clean around the outside of David Lawface, and the Virtuosi has found their way through and up into 9th. And we've got a yellow flag in sector 3. I think that might need no explanation.
He's coming in the pits, probably to retire.
Sprint race.
We got
Going
Shadows is gone.
out of the Ascari, and has claimed another victim as TS9 dives into the pit lane. Shadows has been spun, or has been spun round, and now Monkey Boy Kurt in the pit lane as well, pitting from 3rd, but that has completely ruined Shadows' race, and now Tornado, who did have that rear gunner, that's now gone. But the gap between Grocery and Tornado is at 4.2 seconds, so I think Tornado does have this one covered. But we're looking as well now to TS9 and Monkey Boy Kurt. Where will they exit the pit lane? So TS9 just leaving the pit lane now, and I think they are going to be out ahead of David Lawface, who's still having this fight here with Bolly. And now Willy Bum joining the action as well. And now with the DRS, Willy Bum has got past David Lawface and Bolly, who's dropped down 2 places, but TS9 has jumped that group, and crucially for them, they are clear of any traffic. And now TS9 is in 7th, looking to try and potentially chase down Sargent and Lexus, who are fighting over 5th.
I'm trying to figure out where Walker will appear. From my calculations, he's going to come out just in front of this, maybe between Shadows and Lexus. It's possibly a different time penalty, but he's got enough of a gap not to really worry about it, but it's kind of ruined his chance of winning the race. I'm going to keep an eye on Walker.
Diving to the inside there is Sargent against Lexus, and they are now up into P5. Goes the Virtuosi as Locker in the Dams does come into the pit lane, so Tornado will retake the lead of this race. Crossgate will go through in 2nd, and Biddle with a time penalty, having yet another fight with Revengezilla. Obviously those two didn't learn from the first time, so they're doing it all over again. And Lewis Yorkate with a 5-second penalty. I think they're going to call that race there, and they have. Shadows through ahead of Locker. Sargent and Lexus still fighting away, but Locker will emerge from the pit lane. Are they going to be out ahead of TS9? TS9 find a way with Locker's teammate Willy Bum, and Locker just gets ahead of TS9. So the overcut has worked, and now on those fresh softs, it's all down to Locker to see what he can do.
Biddle's gone for somehow spanning a straight line.
And this race has also just went completely south for Biddle after spinning at the Astari chicane, and David with a 3-second penalty. Oh dear, David.
That's going to be him out of the points.
Unless results, or unless something happens further up front, David Lawface, who has driven a superb race so far, is going to fall out of the points. But Willy Bum trying to get past TS9, but both drivers having the aid of DRS due to Locker in front, and that has allowed TS9 to maintain position. And Tornado, I think that just further proves how quick Tornado actually is around here. They've set a fastest lap of the race on 4 lap old mediums.
Oh dear.
And Revengezilla somewhere has went wrong, and Biddle, yeah, these two just haven't learned. Oh no, David!
What happened to David?
And we have a safety car.
Oh, what the hell has happened there?
Wait, David Lawface.
Oh,
I think David might have been tagged by someone, as Bolly has dived into the pit lane to get on a new set of softs. Diamond in the pit lane, Revengezilla and Biddle. That Biddle, Zilla, we saw that. That was a bit cheeky there from Revengezilla, almost stopping at the entry of the pit lane. And Biddle into the pit lane as well for new softs.
Do you know who this helps really much? Locker.
Locker.
Those fresh softs, and it's going to be... Tornado might be a bit worried now. Locker's going to be an absolute rocket ship.
Of course, looking at penalties up at the front, Crossgate suffering with a 3-second penalty as well. And Shadows, despite having that spin, that has brought them right back into play. Fortunately though, we will not have any DRS, because if I am correct, it will be 2 laps of racing, much like our sprint race, behind the safety car. So no DRS will be able to help the likes of Shadows and Locker make up these places. So Locker really does have to hope that his tyres last.
I've been looking around, and I think the contact for David has come between himself and Tidjum. I don't know if that's true, but we'll have to see later on, or I'll ask David later after the race.
TS9 diving into the pits as well. I think that could be to get a new set of soft tyres, but that will cost them quite a bit of time. They will, although they will emerge, I think, in 10th in the order, so they're still going to be in the points.
I've just realised.
But they have
half this grid is not going to catch up the safety car. It's going to come in this lap.
Unless Tornado is very generous and does back up the field.
Oh. Okay, Lexus has just cut the chicane and then just lobbed it right in front of. There's the safety car, and it's right in front of Yorkie. He's just had to slam his brakes.
And Yorkie's out of the race.
Not Yorkie, Locker, sorry.
Oh dear, and Zilla I think's retired in the pit lane, and Bolly, despite getting on another set of softs, I think it might be too late for them. They've got basically a full lap to try and catch up. But we're looking at the front now. Trostidy's caught up to Tornado, Shadows has caught up, Sargent has caught up, Lexus might just catch up. But more importantly for the leader is that Locker is stuck behind Lexus and will not catch the lead group. But Tornado leaving it very late to the safety car line, so that will allow the group behind to try and catch up. And Shadows already trying to get past Crossbury, and looking at Sargent as well, they're trying to get by the Trident as well. Is Sargent going to pull out a double overtake here in towards turn 1? They don't, but looking as well towards Tornado and Shadows, the two teammates fighting away for the lead of this race. When Shadows has got past Tornado, but around the Retroposta we go. Tornado in the slipstream of Shadows. To the outside goes Tornado, who's been leading this race for such a long time, hoping to retake the lead of the race against their teammate. And into turn 3 we go, and they do just that. And Shadows has to fall into second, but Sargent, more importantly, has got past Trostidy. But Lexus and Locker, they have caught up to this lead group. Not really much more battles further through the field, so it's really a main fight here between the group of 6, between Locker, Lexus, Trostidy trying to get by Sargent and trying to get back into the podium, at least for now. But Trostidy is carrying that time penalty, so that will, in the end, I don't think in the end Sargent has fought that battle very hard. But Shadows, Locker trying to make as much of an advantage as they can on those new softs, and with the amount of grip they will have around the Parabolica, that will play a part. But around the final corner we go. Tornado leading by just under half a second to their teammate Shadows in second, Crossbury in third, who has been dropped by the lead group. Then we have Sargent, Lexus and Locker, but Lexus trying to mount a challenge on Sargent. Round the outside goes the Prema, and I think they've had to give up that one. But Sargent a bit deep there into the chicane, that's going to give Lexus a bit of a run, but Locker will get the benefit of that run. He boxes in the Prema, Lexus is nowhere to go, and Locker trying around the outside of Sargent, but Lexus, he just doesn't have anywhere to go. He's completely boxed in by the Virtuosi and the Dams. Locker though defending to the inside, but Lexus not giving up. But in the end those soft compound tyres do help Locker, and they're up into 5th.
Sargent's got to be careful. Sargent has got to be careful. If he keeps losing time, he's going to lose the podium.
Goes Crossbury carrying the 3-second penalty, and Bolly, it's just went completely wrong for them. But Crossbury 2.1 seconds clear of Sargent and carrying that 3-second penalty. So as of right now, with Lexus almost pushing Locker around the Astari chicane, Crossbury will finish the race in 6th. But looking now up to the front as TGM picks up a time penalty, but that I don't think will change their order. TGM and Monkey Boy Kurt, the two Carlin drivers, recovering well to finish in 9th and 8th. But it will be a Caruso 1-2 here at Monza. Tornado finally throws down the challenge, and he will take victory in our feature race here at Monza, and the championship challenge is underway. Shadows in second, and Sargent does take the podium away from Crossbury, with Locker in 4th. Crossbury falling down to P5 just by 42 thousandths of a second, missing out on P4, but still a really good drive for the Trident. We have Lexus in P6, Willybum in 7th, Monkey Boy Kurt in 8th, Tijim in P9, and we look a long ways back to TS9, who rounds out the points in P10. Just barely though ahead of Diamond, I didn't know TS9 was carrying a time penalty, and that nearly cost him the final point in this race. Diamond just missing it by 17 thousandths of a second. And we look now to the battle for the wooden spoon between Biddle and Bolly, who are, I think they've threw up the white flag, they've gave up, and they're just having a bit of a neutral agreement between the pair of them not to do anything silly. Hopefully I've not cursed them early, and there you go. They're recreating Barrack. Oh, Biddle! Oh. Wow, Biddle! That, and of course, and how does Bolly get the penalty for that? So Biddle and Bolly trying to do their best recreation of Barrichello and Schumacher. Equal over the line, but Biddle had to be a spoil sport, and that's allowed him to take P12. Looking as well at our Twitch chat here, Tornado certainly very happy with that result, and 25 points they definitely needed for this championship. I'd also like to, I don't think I've noticed this before, they actually have people on the track celebrating with the drivers. Not sure if that's new or whatever, but nonetheless, it is a Carouse 1-2 at Monza. Tornado 27 points, nearly a max haul for the driver, and confidence very much gained in the end. Shadows in second, and Sargent rounding out the podium, and Locker, a really strong drive for them, in fourth. Then we've got Crossray in P5, Lexus, Lollybum, Kurt, TGM. Good evening all round for the Carlin team despite a rather poor qualifying, and TS9 rounding out the top 10. So, Gary, I would now ask for your driver of the day.
For the feature, it's going to have to be only one guy. It's going to have to be FBI or Walker. Gone from P12 to 4th.
Of course, helped out by that late safety car, but a really good strategy call for Locker. And nonetheless, a really strong drive, but I think I might give my driver of the day vote to Tornado. A very good recovery from Abu Dhabi, and finally get what they deserve, and that is a victory, and finally getting their championship charge underway. Looking as well at our Twitch chat, Tornado not very happy with you, Gary, voting for Locker, but very happy that I casted my vote. Well, however, Tornado, it must be said that the main comms vote doesn't count. It's only the co-comms vote, so take from that what you will.
Yeah, but to be fair, Tornado, you are the guy that was supposed to win. I need to go back through again. Sorry, I need to check. I forgot to put our front three. Where are they?
It will be Tornado, Sargent, and Shadows, who are our top three. Hopefully get them in for post-race interviews, as we will get the winner's car on display on screen, if Codemasters and EA servers will allow me. Thank you, lads. We'll go with Fittipaldi, sure.
He had a nice weekend this week in Hungary. Fittipaldi did, got second place. Okay, so Tornado won't be joining us because his mic's not working. Sergeant, also remember to include your audio, mate.
Got it.
There we go. So just before we do begin our interviews, as we know, Tornado is in our Twitch chat. Just like to throw out a quick question and just say, regarding next week's race, do you hope to try and repeat that same result in Zandvoort, which is where we go to next week?
Yeah, man. Good. Right? That I got a bit lucky through.
Sergeant, I wasn't talking to you.
Oh,
I was
my
talking to Tornado.
All good, mate. My headset went out, so
Wait
my
your
headset
turn.
went out, so I had no idea.
Well, we'll cast that question to you in a minute, but just regarding Tornado, who obviously will not join us for our interview, just throw that question to them in our Twitch chat, as hopefully a moderator like you gets that other message cleared up. Unless, of course, Tornado has been kind and politely left. So, I would imagine that their response would be that they're hoping to respond well in Zandvoort, and if Brookieman does show up, they're hoping to at least take the title charge to them. So, not my words. So they are my words, not Tornado's words, but still, regardless, a really good result for Tornado. And a massive well done on your victory. And as well, while we're here, Lewis Yorkie, who did struggle in our feature race, did win our sprint, so I'll throw that out. And a well done to Lewis Yorkie and Tornado. They are saying in our Twitch chat, saying that Zandvoort is their favourite track to drive for the Formula 2 cars. So that could be good news for Tornado, but I'd like to ask Gary to interview our third place driver, Sargent.
Anyone who's got here.
Now, Sargent, you are able to speak.
Right.
I believe so. Yes.
So, hello, Sergeant.
Hello, Gary.
Right. Yeah. Obviously got third in feature race. You had a long race battle with. Who was it with again? Who was the one that you were fighting with? Krosky, wasn't it?
No. He got a 3-second penalty, so I wasn't worried.
Who was the one that you were fighting? I can't remember who you were fighting
Lexus.
with. That was
Lexus.
it. Lexus, your long race battle with him. We also noticed your car was bouncing around a bit. I know that may have been connection-wise, but other than that, how do you feel both your races went, the feature and the sprint went?
Yeah, fairly good. Got lucky with people, as you excuse my French, but fucking around a bit, which wasn't ideal. I saw quite a bit of weaving, so that's going to the stewards. But yeah, it was good overall. Obviously, didn't expect podiums. Just low points would have been great. These guys were all really quick, but yeah, it's nice to have some battles, even though the lag was quite there and quite obvious. I reset my internet during qualifying. It got a little bit better, but I made sure to leave room where I could. So it worked out in the end for me.
Yeah, I can't remember what happened in the race. Were you... Oh, sorry. Under the last safety car, obviously, you may have noticed that Rocker was on some fresh-ish softs. Were you worried that he could catch you up and maybe nick your podium at the end there?
Nah, luckily I timed the safety car quite well, because there would have been 2 laps when we crossed the line then, so I knew it was going to be this lap. So I got there pretty much as they started going, didn't really have to back off much. Got a great run, made a couple of overtakes into turn 1, but I wasn't worried. Lexus made a mistake down at the second chicane and rejoined just in front of Locker, so he was 3 seconds behind, and in 2 laps, even on the fresh rubber, it's pretty hard to make that overtake.
Yeah, Cruiser, as the Sergeant's the only person here, I'm going to let you ask him the final question.
Just giving me a quick minute to see if we could get Shadows in for an interview, but I'm not sure. Not sure if we'll be able to. So, if Shadows doesn't join up for the interview, just like to say well done them, and obviously Shadows, and hoping for a quick response from Shadows. But Sergeant, bid well done on P3 and some good points for our drivers' championship. Just like to point out as well towards the safety car at the end of our feature race, and of course you having to join what was a fight for 4th between Revengezilla and Biddle, which ultimately disintegrated. Was there any pressure, like trying to defend against Crosstray despite him having that penalty, or were you a bit more relaxed?
Nah, I was a bit more
able to keep up.
It's a bit more relaxed. I did make a mistake. I think it was down into the chicane. at some point. I think it was onto the last lap. I went pretty deep and had to kind of slow it down to turn 2. So I was just trying to keep the pace up to try and stay within that 3 seconds, and I managed to by half a second.
Just now add on to that final question, but with the threat of locker on the softs, surely that must have been a factor in your head.
Yeah, it was, but I knew that I had good straight line speed, even with the tyre difference. It's just got to place the car right and hit those apexes on the last lap, and I'd be fine.
And I think with that rounds out round 2 of our championship. So once again, played well done to Sargent on the evening all round. I think I make that a 3rd place and a 5th place in our sprint race, if I'm correct.
I was 2nd in the sprint or something like that, so
even better, and I do apologise for that.
Yeah, because of Tornado's 5 seconds from last week.
That was it, because of Tornado. And oh yeah, you finished 3rd then, didn't you?
Yeah,
dear?
to 2nd.
Yorkie got 1st, and then it goes Sargent. Biddle gets a podium. Monkey Boy gets P4. Crossbury P6. Tornado goes P7. So that was the top 7. But yeah, Sargent got P2.
There you go. And there you go. A successful evening all round for Sargent. A P3 and a P2 to their name. Lewis Yorkie, as I said, well done on the sprint race. And to Tornado and Shadows, they are definitely away at partying with the team after that one too, so couldn't join us for post-race interviews, but regardless, well done to them, and all round big well done, and a massive thank you to everyone on our grid. It was certainly an eventful evening, wasn't it, Gary?
Yeah, less eventful as last season. Yep. Last season we had like 4 safety cars and we had 2 race accidents, so I think this year the racing was a little bit better. There was some still silly incidents and contacts, but that's just racing.
And I think that will round out round 2 of our Formula 2 Championship. And massive thank you everyone for watching. FPRL will be back this upcoming Wednesday, where we take the short road trip from Monza to Imola, where the Tier 3 drivers, aka yours truly, will hopefully stop the wrath of Diamond, who has currently picked up a podium in all 3 races so far. So if anyone is going to stop Diamond, please do it quickly, because they are running away with this championship. Nothing against Diamond, because they are really, really good. But like I said, FPRL will be back this Wednesday, the short road trip to Imola, and Formula 2 will be back next Sunday on the 14th of August, where we head out to Holland and take on Zandvoort. So a very, very eventful week of racing ahead of us, and a big thank you once again to Silverside Boy for joining me in the commentary booth.
Yep, enjoy it as always.
As boring as I tend to be, it's great that you've joined us these past few weeks, and here's some more eventful racing in the future.
Yep.
And I have been Cruiser1872. Thank you all for watching, and from all of us here at FPRL, good night.